What's up, guys? So today we're looking at another knife from Kansept Knives, K-A-N-S-E-P-T, kind of like concept, but just a play on words. This one is the Sprite. So the box, you can see it's got some details on there. I think I showed this from another Kansept knife video, but in case you haven't seen that one, all right, interesting box and packaging. Got a little paperwork package here. Here's your little cleaning cloth. Some information on, of course, blade care, warranty, things like that. What's covered. You can kind of scroll through that if you wanted to read all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure I showed it before. But anyway, interesting packaging and same sheath. All right, we have this fold-over design. So if you want to carry it in the sheath, you can certainly do so. So I just want to cover that real quick, just in case you haven't seen the other video I did showing the box. So here's a close-up look at the knife. All right, this one has the titanium frame with the carbon fiber inserts. All right, this is also available, I believe, in green micarta, which is interesting too. But the fit and finish of this knife is really superb. These sell for just under 200 bucks. It's like 196 I saw over at BladeHQ. It's also 196, I think, direct from Kansept, which is interesting too. A lot of times when you get knives direct from companies, they're a little bit more expensive. But I mean, it's a really straightforward design. It's a titanium frame lock. All right, it does have a flipper on here. The flipper does not have any kind of jimping or anything on there. It's actually really smooth. Let that focus for a second. Works great. I haven't had my finger slip off of it at all. All right, it is skeletonized, just nice for the looks. But it's sticking out enough where I haven't had any issues without any kind of texturing or jimping on that or anything like that. But pretty cool. I mean, overall, it's a very slick looking knife. It kind of leans more towards the gentleman's side of things. I happen to use this extra. What I mean by that is that whenever I test new knives, I'll go through the process of cutting some cardboard, maybe some paracord, plastic bottles, jugs, things like that. I'll EDC them for a little while as well. But this is a knife that I happen to just keep gravitating towards. Number one, because I had it at the end of my desk, so it was the first knife to actually grab. So when I'm around the house and stuff, I'm filtering through knives left and right to cut things. But it just happened to be right there, so I was always grabbing it. But it was just one that I liked. I really liked, so I just kept grabbing it to use it. I did a couple projects around the house with this, cut some screen. I had to rescreen my porch. There's a large window there, so I had to trim that with this knife. You can see, I mean, the blade's all gunked up and dirty and stuff. And sometimes, I apologize for that. Sometimes when I do these reviews, I'll clean up a blade first if there's no coating or anything on it, just to get rid of that tape residue and stuff, just because it looks kind of nasty. But I just grabbed this. I honestly just forgot. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool knife. I mean, the fit and finish and quality overall is definitely there for 200 bucks. To be honest, they could have charged $250, $300 for this, and it wouldn't have made a difference. I mean, you have top quality materials. The construction is really good. There is no blade play in any direction whatsoever. All modern materials and design. Has ceramic ball bearings in here, so it is smooth. It's not the very smoothest knife I've ever used, but you can definitely kind of shake that closed. It does flip open very easily. All right, so I mean, it doesn't feel like it's running on glass or anything, but it's certainly smooth. You know what I mean? For people who are into that kind of thing. But it just works. It's just a really good knife. It's not offensive in any way. And what I mean by that is that it's just like, it's comfortable. It doesn't like melt in the hand at all, but it's really comfortable overall. I haven't had any hot spots or anything. There's no jimping anywhere. It's actually a pretty smooth knife. I think that also contributes to its kind of elegance, as opposed to being more, tactical, which sometimes knives come across as. As far as specs, the blade is 3.5 inches. All right, it is a CPM S35VN steel, which is fantastic. All right, let's look at the markings real quick. Kansept logo on top there. All right, S35VN. Then we have the model number to the right there, and on the reverse, the name, which is Sprite. Coming down, you can see the lock bar. Of course, has a lock bar insert as well, which is a very nice touch. We do have a lanyard hole through the spacer material that's on the back. All right, so just a simple design. A lot of knife companies do this where they'll cut out the frame, have a little hole inside the actual spacer material, so they don't have to do much else as far as putting a lanyard on there. As far as the pocket clip goes, titanium as well. All right, just like on the other Kansept knife, it has a good amount of springiness to it. You can definitely pull it away from the frame enough to accommodate any size pants. all right, and it thins out. Even though there's a large nub here to hold it against the frame, it does thin out enough where you can get material under there. All right, so the distance rather from the very tip of that pocket clip down to the frame is quite wide compared to other designs. So I do like their pocket clip, and it's pretty deep concealed. It's not completely concealed. You will see just a little bit of that poking up, but overall I really do like it. I like it a lot. Having the black spacer on the back here matches with the carbon fiber inserts really nicely. Again, just fit and finish, attention to detail, little things like the chamfering that's on our pivot screw, that little angle that's there. You know, the inserts themselves, if I get even closer, you can see that they're a perfect match. I mean, they're really well done. There's no cracks or spaces or anything. It's obviously 3 separate inserts. All right, just, I mean, it's a simple design. It's just very well executed. That's really what comes across here the most. You know, if you like the look of the knife, it certainly works. As far as overall length, 8.1 inches, and it is 3.9 ounces on my own scale. Couldn't find specs online as far as its weight, so I weighed it myself. But yeah, I mean, carry this, EDC'd it quite a bit since I've had it in multiple pockets. I mean, now that I'm pocket carrying a firearm, in some scenarios, sometimes I will put my full-size knife for the day, I'll put it in like my leg pocket as opposed to the, front right pocket, which I'm normally carrying my full-size knives with. Flat ground blade, clip point style. It is a recurve. All right, let me take the box back here to show you this. All right, because it might be something that's missed, but if I put the edge flat on this box, you can see all the air right down in here, if I get it lined up right. So yeah, you can see how that blade does curve back in and then out at the very end. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I didn't have to sharpen this. I did sharpen it up a little bit. You can see the actual sharpened edge comes all the way back before this cutout here, which essentially acts like a blade choil. So sharpening should be easier in that sense. You can come all the way back to the edge, which is just really, really nice. It's something that kind of sets some more expensive knives apart from cheaper knives. Not always, but a lot of times when you have a cheaper knife, the grind, your actual sharpened edge will just kind of flare out at the back, which is kind of annoying. You know what I mean? And sometimes it almost looks like you don't have all of your edge. Like, let's say if that was this design and this just came up and, widened from the grind, right at this point here, it would look like there's more blade that's sharp, but it's not. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those little touches. It's really a design thing. There's nothing stopping cheaper companies from doing cutouts like this in the blade to prevent that, but I don't know. It's just common, I guess, on some more affordable stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. The whole knife is very smooth, so you do have that kind of smooth feel. That would be great for some people, not so good for other people. Everyone has their preferences. If you're totally into jimping and thumb ramps and all that kind of stuff, this one's certainly not for you. But it's an elegant knife that you could really use hard. I did not hold back with this one. I try never to hold back with stuff. Sometimes more expensive knives, you cringe a little bit when you're really kind of, I don't know, beating on it. And I shouldn't really even say beating on it because I'm not doing anything you're not supposed to do with a knife, but I just mean like just ripping through and not worrying about hitting a staple in a box or something, or not worrying about that edge so much, just because you really want to get a feel for the knife and what it's capable of. And sometimes some of these more expensive knives, and $200 is expensive to me. Of course, yes, there's $300, $400, and $500 knives and plus. But I still think for the average person, $200 is a lot of money to be putting down on a pocket knife, so it's a big consideration, as far as what the quality is going to be, what you're going to get for that money. And I do think it's here. I think it's definitely giving you all of that $200 in performance. But like I said, I mean, you can actually rely on this knife. It's not just one of those pretty ones you keep in a drawer and baby. You can take this out and carry it and use it, and I think you're going to be pretty happy with it if you just like the way that it looks and you don't mind smoothness, because that's what it is. The whole thing's just kind of smooth. As far as like resting the thumb on here, you do feel the separation from the frame. Sometimes I like designs where the frame itself is a little bit thicker, only because your thumb lands on more material, and it tends to be a little bit more comfortable. This is not uncomfortable in any sense, nor do I get any kind of hot spots at all from the pocket clip or the frame design or anything like that. But like I said, it doesn't stand out as being like, melt in your hand comfortable. It's just comfortable. You know what I mean? Middle of the road. Not uncomfortable, not amazing, but somewhere in between. But yeah, I mean, I've been really surprised with Kansept as a brand across the board. I've had multiple knives from them, and I've been just really liking everything they have, and they do have a good variety of stuff. So you'll probably see some more reviews on them in the future, but the Sprite is A-okay with me. If you happen to like the design and don't mind forking over $200 to try one, I think it's cool. I think it's definitely functional. It's definitely going to perform for you. And like I said, it's a little bit classy, a little bit something different, you know. I just find that there's so many tactical looking knives, you know. It's just nice to break away from that a little bit. And they have their own tactical looking knives as well. There's another model that's actually way cheaper. I'm going to do a video in the future. And that, to me, even though it's got some really cool natural material, I don't want to give it away yet, but it has really cool natural material, but it still comes across as kind of tactical to me. This one's different. This one's more gentleman's type knife. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just, I dig it. So that's all. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.